Rich. We're in the Beverly Center area, sort of on the edge of West Hollywood, riding down Beverly Boulevard. And we're going to ride up Crescent Heights and see what we can see. I had a nice breakfast at the Kings Road Cafe, and I'm heading to the valley to meet up with my brother, but I made sure and kept enough ride time in between that I'd be able to take a leisurely trip over the hill. For those of you who are not local, to us here in Los Angeles, over the hill means over the Santa Monica Mountains into the San Fernando Valley. I am shifting too early again. I'm going to pull over for just a second and lock up this Velcro because I don't want to lose my camera control of this light. So we're riding up Crescent Heights Boulevard, and I've always liked this stretch because you're basically riding straight up slope the whole way, but in a straight line, kind of like the way the streets are in San Francisco, where everything is a little slopey, but it's extremely angular and straight in most of the city, and they've cut straight line streets directly up hills. It's tamed nature. Crescent Heights and Melrose. There's Fred Siegel. This neighborhood was trendy 30 years ago and still is. It's a little different now, but it's still nice. I also like this street because of obviously because of the tree canopy. The trees in places have almost grown to meet. Like there's a big jacaranda. And here, coming up on the West Hollywood city limits, we just basically slice through the middle of West Hollywood and then go up. Crossing Santa Monica Boulevard. This whole area got landscaped about 10-15 years ago by the city, and it still looks good. There was an old streetcar right-of-way running down the middle of Santa Monica Boulevard, and the city purchased it from the state to permanently protect it from development, and they locked down the walkability of the street with pedestrian improvements and medians and refuge islands and so forth. So it's become a much nicer place than when I lived here a decade ago. And there's us reflected in there. I'm wearing my Tourmaster Jet 3 jacket with the lining out and all the vents open, and so when I'm riding along I'm very comfortable, and then when I stop at a light or whatever, I'm just sweating to death. All I have on under this is a thin long sleeve cotton shirt, very thin, but I don't have enough experience dressing for motorcycle riding in warm weather. So I didn't really know what to bring. And I don't just want to wear a t-shirt under the jacket. That doesn't seem protective enough. I really need some sort of something even lighter than this, but with armor. And I also need gloves that are different from these. In fact, I might stop at a dealer and buy a pair, because you know this is kind of rough to ride around this hot. This bike is definitely fun to ride uphill. Coming up on Crescent Heights at sunset. I remember when this shop, this is 8,800, or what was it, 8,000, Sunset Shopping Center with movie theater and Starbucks. I remember when this went in, and seemed so nice and transformational to have an anchor at this important intersection here on the Sunset Strip. Crescent Heights and Hollywood Boulevard, which is this, well, I guess it's Laurel Canyon now. That's what this is. That was me starting uphill in second gear. The bike did okay, but I really had to rev it. Coming past the entrance to Mount Olympus here. That's a nice old house. Stone chimney, and that looks like it's been there forever, since this was semi-rural, this area. I mean, forever here means since 1920, not since 60, when it was built. Mount Olympus, established residential community. Nice old eucalyptus trees here. I better be attentive to cracks and fissures in the concrete going up here. I don't really want to ride on the crack line. I'd rather ride to one side of it. And when I have to cross over it, cross it deliberately at as close to a right angle as possible. I wonder if I'm holding up traffic behind. It doesn't look like it in this section. So I'm up to third gear now. Although now I'm back down to second. These houses here are kind of inconvenient. They're hard to get in and out of, and look at that, I didn't know there was a bus running over Laurel Canyon. I don't think there used to be. Because I got nothing to prove. Let everybody clear. When the passing traffic stops, then I'll go out. The bike's very stable at low speeds. That is one thing I like about it. Like I said earlier, the center of gravity is lower, so it's much less likely to pitch over. It just sort of slowly starts to lean and you can catch it. And it's, at 500 and something pounds, it's still a pretty lightweight bike, so you don't run into the problem of not being able to lift it. I mean, obviously, you can't lift it once it gets beyond the point of no return, but in kind of, sort of normal, gentle fall, someone my size has enough strength to catch the bike before it passes that pivot point and it can't be recovered. Land for sale. I don't know who would want to build a house on that. I mean, there's not the slightest sense that this bike doesn't have enough power to handle this curvy, very steep road. I mean, I think I'm in second gear at the moment and doing just fine. Nowhere near the power limit. Like I said yesterday, I'm more aware of explicitly countersteering on this bike. Here's Mulholland, and we're going to turn left. Actually, I'm going to turn right and then stop. There's the valley on that side, but we're not good over there. We're just going to stop here.